With the spring season coming to an end in the next few weeks and the summer one about to start up, I thought I'd do what a lot of people tend to do when seasonal changes happen and talk about upcoming anime, because I'm not original. Okay, so we're going to talk about upcoming anime. Specifically the ones that I am interested in, because I'm not going to talk about all of them because that would take forever. But the ones that have at least piqued my interest, because some of these I'm probably not going to watch as they're airing. Most likely to wait for the dub, because if you don't know, that's something I tend to do. I prefer to watch dubs. Sorry. Not all the time though. I do prefer dubs, but sometimes I'll watch a show subbed as it's airing, but that's very rare. So a lot of these I am going to wait until they're done airing, but they have piqued my interest, and I'm definitely going to be looking out for them and seeing how they fare, what people think of them, and if they get a broadcast dub, then I'll check them out. So that's what we're gonna do, and I don't know how long this will be. Hopefully it won't be too long. And I have the computer running, and I'm on my anime list right now looking at stuff there, since they added a seasonal chart thingy there, like yesterday or today, I don't know. But that's really helpful, so I'm going to use that. And if the computer is loud and hearable, because it probably will be, I'm sorry, but I don't have good stuff to do recording things. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about Non Biyori Repeat, or technically it should be Biyori, but I do not pronounce this correctly because I got into the habit of saying Biyori, so that's what I'm going to do. Non Biyori, this is the second season of this show, and it's a really, really fun slice of life. I loved the first season. It's a very kind of relaxing show. It's about, these four girls in a rural town, going to a one-room schoolhouse where it's just them and the brother of two of the girls, and those are the whole students. They're all in different grades, and it's slice of life, and it's fun, and the characters are fun. They have some really nice personality. They interact well with each other. It's just very fun. It's not a deep show, it's not, it's not going to make you think, but you're going to have a good time watching it. And I'm really looking forward to the second season. This is the one thing I definitely will be watching as it airs, because the first season was not released with a dub when Sentai released it, because they sometimes don't give things dubs. So it's just pretty much impossible. Well, not impossible. They're probably not going to dub the second season. So, yeah. There's nothing to wait for. So I'll be watching this as it airs. This is definitely what I'm looking forward to the most, because I really enjoyed the first season. So, yeah. Check it out. If you haven't checked out the first season, you should. What next? What else is here? I am stalling for time as I get to the right page. Let's talk about... How about Charlotte? Charlotte's a pretty talked about one. So Charlotte is in a similar boat that Angel Beats was, in that it's being worked on by Key, but it is not based on a visual novel they've done, just like Angel Beats was. It may get a visual novel later on, just like Angel Beats is getting now, but it does not have a visual novel that's being based on it. It's not based on anything, actually. So, yeah, and it's done by the same studio, PA Works, who did Angel Beats. So this will definitely be one of the heavy hitters this season, just because Key's name is attached to it. And it seems to be about a bunch of kids who, when they reach puberty, end up developing special abilities, and I guess they're all going to go to a school and have their special abilities do stuff, and then there'll be drama and comedy and romance and tragedy and all the things you normally expect from a Key work. And I really like, Key stuff. I loved Clan, I loved Canon. Air, I loved the movie, the series not so much. Angel Beats was good, but it definitely was flawed. Mostly because it didn't have enough time to do anything, and it had a large cast. But from what I understand, Angel Beats was supposed to be like 26 episodes, and it ended up getting cut down to 13 for some reason. And I hope, because this doesn't have an episode count listed yet, I hope that this is going to be like 24 or something episodes, because 13 probably won't be enough to do this right. I mean, look at the Air series. That was 13 episodes, and that ended up being, not well either. I don't want to piss off people who liked Air. So, yeah, really, 13 episodes is not enough for shows like this. It's got to be at least like 24 or 25, 26 to get everything done right. So hopefully it'll end up being that long, or the story will be planned in advance to be something small enough to fit in a 13 episode season, but I'd prefer it to be longer. But yeah, I mean, it's key. I'll probably like it for the most part. You're still gonna watch Little Busters at some point, but anyway, definitely looking forward to this, and I think most people are as well, because it's a key series. It'll probably end up getting licensed by Sentai, so this probably will not get any sort of broadcast dub. Unless they start doing them, but I doubt it. So, because pretty much everything key seems to get licensed by Sentai, or ADV back when they were around. So, yeah, what next? La 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 la, scrolling up the screen. Prison School. This is another one that gets talked about. Done by JC Staff. And it has ecchi. If you saw the preview for it, you definitely there was definitely some ecchi in there. So this is about an all-girls boarding school, and they're letting boys in for the first time. 5 to be specifically. Only 5 got to make the cut in the first year this all-girls school decided to allow boys in. And I guess it turns into a prison. I guess they're gonna wow. This is definitely, I feel like this show is going to really play at the ecchi, and I don't know, like, how good it's going to turn out. I've seen it talked about a bit. I think the manga is pretty well received. It's got an 8.12 on Mal, the manga, so I guess it's well received. I hope it ends up being good. It's really going to depend on how much they try and play up the fan service. And if it pretty much is just, hey, let's wave a bunch of boobs in your face, then it's going to end up feeling pretty generic. But maybe they'll do something different with it. Who knows? Definitely one that's going to get talked about a lot, though. Certainly. So, I'm definitely going to keep my eye out on that. What else do we have? La la la. Oh, Dragon Ball Super. Obviously another big heavy hitter because it's Dragon Ball. I mean, like, I really don't know what to say. It's Dragon Ball. People are going to watch it. It's going to have the Battle of God guys in it. Beerus and Jace, or Whis. Beerus and Whis. Not Jace. Jace is the Ginyu guy. Well, what am I doing? Is it too... it's too early to talk about stuff. It isn't really, but... yeah. So, new Dragon Ball. It's going to be Dragon Ball. It's going to be fun. That there's really not much else to say. Maybe it'll get a broadcast dub from Funimation. That'd be really nice. They still haven't dubbed the Buu Saga for Kai yet. I hear they've had to wait till that ends, so that's going to be funny. They're going to be dubbing. If they do broadcast dub this, this will get a broadcast dub before the rest of Kai is done. But, yeah. Looking forward to this, certainly. Next, God Eater. So this is by Foldable, who, did Fate Zero and the current other Fate stuff. They've done some other stuff, but that's mostly what they're known for. So, regardless of how this show turns out, it's going to look fantastic, at the very least. So it might be, for some people, this is going to be worth watching just for the animation. So this is set in 2071, and there's going to be a bunch of monsters called Origami who have destroyed the world, because that has to happen. They're monsters. If they don't destroy the world, then they're not doing their job right. And then if they don't do their job right, they're not going to get paid enough. And how are they going to support their families? What are you going to do? If you don't have your money, your wife's going to leave you, and you're going to have to pay child support, and then you're going to even poorer, and, everything goes downhill. So you'll be making pudding at 4 in the morning and not knowing where your life's going. So, what else is going on here? So there's going to be weapons called God Arcs, made of the cells of the origami, that an organization called Fenrir is going to use to eliminate them. So, using their own cells against them. That's interesting. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, fighting monsters, basically. I mean, I think this is based off like a game or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how good that is, but at the least, like I said, it's going to look great. So there's that, regardless of how the show itself actually turns out. But I don't think it'll be bad. Probably be at least fairly good, but we'll have to see. We will have to see. Next we have Durarara X210, otherwise just known as the second core of the second season of Durarara. I'll probably watch this, because I would expect Aniplex would broadcast of this like they did the first season, especially considering how much they advertised the broadcast of the first one, so I couldn't imagine that they would not do it for this. Yeah, I mean, it's more Durarara. If you like Durarara, you'll like this. If you've never seen Durarara before, well, you better go watch the first season and the first half of the second season before you do this. And the OVAs, too. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's more Durarara. It's going to be fun and crazy and supernatural stuff. So, yeah. And then we're going to get another 12 episodes in January. The Durarara train just can't stop, man. Alright. What next? La 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 la. I should probably be pausing now and not keep going with this to make it less awkward. How about Gangsta with a period at the end? Gangsta! So Gangsta is based on a manga, and that manga is fairly well received. And this show is going to be about... What are you doing, my anime list? Why won't you work for me? Why are you being a bitch, my anime list? I just want you to go to the place where you're supposed to so I can talk about the stuff. Okay, in the city of Gaztalum, a shoddy villa, or vile, blue, bleh, filled with maidmen, okay, and petty thieves, whores on the make, and cops on the take. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. There are some deeds too dirty for even its jaded inhabitants to touch. Enter the handymen, Nick and Warwick. I'm gonna go with Warwick. His name's not Rick, it's Warwick. Who take care of the jobs no one else will handle. Until the day when a cop they know on the force requests their help in taking down a new gang muscling in on the territory of a top mafia family. It seems like business and mayhem as usual, but the handymen are about to find that this job is a lot more than they bargained for. So I know the source material is well received. It sounds fun. You know, you don't usually see a lot of mafia anime. I mean, there's Gungrave, which I'm actually watching right now, but I know that that's going to convert over into like a monster fighting thing. So it'd be nice if this was like a more realistic mafia thing. It didn't involve any supernatural crap like Gungrave does. To keep it more realistic and have that more sort of like classical film noir kind of thing going on. I don't know if this will have that, but it'd be nice if it did. Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it'll definitely be worth a watch. And if the source material is as good as it seems to be, then, yeah, it should at least be worth a watch. Gangsta. I like that. I like saying gangsta. Damn it, my anime list. Why won't you work? Like, what did I do to you that you don't want to help me out? Like, why? My anime list. What did I do? Let's talk about Snow White with the red hair. So you should just call her Snow Red, then. That's what I'm saying. So I guess this is like Snow White. But, yeah. So, Shirayuki. So that, I guess that translates as Snow White. I know Yuki is snow, so I guess Shira is white. So, Snow White was a young girl born with apple red hair. And she meets a foolish prince who falls in love with her and... Oh, so this is going to be like a reverse harem, isn't it? Yeah, this looks like it might be a reverse harem. Or a shoujo, at least. Yeah, it's listed as shoujo. I don't know, it could be interesting. I mean, the whole Snow White thing, that could turn out to be interesting, you know? Certainly something that... It has because of that tie-in to Snow White, it has enough to kind of draw people in. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably keep an eye on this. This looks pretty interesting, at least to some degree, unless it just turns into a generic kind of reverse harem-y thing, which in that case, then that'll be disappointing. But what next? What's about? Ooh, this is one I've seen talked about a bit. Everyday Life with Monster Girls. Or Monster Musume, as I'm sure a lot of people will just call it. So this is an ecchi harem comedy thing, and you can tell that just by looking at the image. I've seen it talked about a bit, so I guess it's liked to some degree. 3 years ago, the world learned that harpies, centaurs, catgirls, and all manners, of course catgirls, and all manners of fabulous creatures are not merely fiction. They are flesh and blood. Not to mention scale, feather, horn, and fang. Thanks to the Cultural Exchange Between Species Act, these once mythical creatures have assimilated into society. Or at least they're trying. Wow, okay. So I guess this is going to be like some sort of school comedy harem with a bunch of animal people, I guess. So I don't really know how that's going to turn out. I mean, if it's well received, it'll at the least be like watched, but I don't know. The fan service kind of it doesn't sound super promising, but I mean, I think it's going to depend on how the comedy turns out. Because if the comedy's good, then it'll have that. But if it's just, just fan service and that's it, and it's going to be weird fan service because it's animal people, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see with this one. What else? So I don't want to talk about everything. What about this? This I saw talked about a little bit. School Live. So, I've heard, once again, as with a lot of these, I've heard the source material is pretty good. God damn it, my anime list. Why won't you work? So, Yuki Takaya is in love with the school. For her, it's a wonderful place where she enjoys her school activities, especially the activities of her club, School Life Club. So why is this show called School Live and not School Live? Whatever. The club has Ri-chan as the president, Kurumi-chan as another member, and the teacher, Megune. Always there for them. Yes, she's in love with her school. On her mind. Because, on her mind? Should that be in her mind? Whatever. Because for her, the reality of the school and their club's activities are way too hard to be perceived. So that at the least like sounds interesting. Um, I mean, it depends on what direction they take it in. Ultimately, sorry, I'm switching around stuff. It's listed as mystery, horror, slice of life, supernatural. So I mean, by the description, you can tell something supernatural is going to happen. It depends on how it's handled. Really, that's what I'd say. Yeah, may or may not watch it. This will be one where it'll. I mean, if it gets a broadcast dub, I'll check it out. But if not, it'll be something where like I'll wait and see how it's received, and then whenever it gets a dub, if it gets a dub, I'll look into it based on how it turns out. La la la. My anime list is bitch because it does not like to work. There's a new season of Fate Kaleid liner Prisma Illya. I still have not seen the other two seasons of Prisma Illya, even though I should, because it's Fate. Only the first season's been dubbed so far, so I'll probably wait till Sentai gets around to dubbing the rest. Even though it's, Sentai voice actors and not the LA ones that the rest of the Fate stuff has. But, yeah, I do want to check it out just because it's Fate, for the most part. I think there's still going to end up being like a fourth season after this, because they're supposed to be like, this is, two-way, or that's supposed to be a play on Zwei in German for two. And I believe the manga or whatever it's based on goes up to Mirai. So there'd probably be another season. Even though this is the third season, it's still part of the second part of the manga. So then there'd be a third part of the manga, which would be the fourth season, I guess. So there'll probably be more after this. But, I mean, if you liked the other two seasons, you'll probably like this. If you didn't, you probably won't. I don't have much to say on this because I haven't seen the rest of it, but I do plan to at some point because it's Fate, pretty much. That's the big reason. There's a new season of Working with 3 exclamation points. I haven't seen the other two seasons. They seem fairly well received. So it's like slice of life at a restaurant in Hokkaido. So I guess maybe it's like Silver Spoon, but instead of being at like farming school, they're in a restaurant. Yeah, I mean, I like Silver Spoon. I mean, I have no idea if this is going to be like Silver Spoon, so I shouldn't be acting like it is, but it's slice of life in Hokkaido, and it seems somewhat well received. Not as well received as Silver Spoon, it seems, but yeah, I mean, it's an NIS America show, so first 2 seasons are not dubbed, since they only very rarely dub shows. I think they dubbed Toradora. They're going to release their dub for A Lull in the Sea at the end of the month, and then they're going to dub Love Live. So they're moving into dubbing things, but unless they go back and dub the other 2 seasons, this is one that if I had seen the prior 2 seasons, I would be checking out now. But I'll see. Maybe I'll watch it one day. It's definitely something I'm considering. Let's talk about Ushio and Tora. So this the picture for this looks pretty interesting. Ushio thinks that his father's talk of an ancient ancestor impaling a demon on a temple altar stone with the legendary beast spear is nuts. Because it does sound pretty nuts. But when he finds the monster in his own basement, because where else are you going to find a monster? Under your bed? That's so, like, 1970s, man. And even closets, that's so Monsters, Inc. It's already been done. You gotta throw them in your basement. Well, that's where all the fun stuff is. Ushio Ushio has to take another look at the family legend after he finds this monster. To save his friends and family from the invading spirits, so I guess there's invading spirits now. Maybe his basement's just like a portal to hell or something. He's forced to release... Oh no, he's forced to release this monster in his basement to help him fight them. So I guess he's going to control the monster, and they're going to not be, friends at first, and then they're going to become friends, and then there's going to be like oh no, we're going to have to part ways, but they don't really. That's probably what's going to happen. What's it based on? It's based on a manga. Seems okay. Oh, this is an old manga, 1990 to 1996. Wow. Yeah, I don't know about this. I've heard it talked about a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying much, but I don't really know what to say about it. It sounds okay. I like the art for it. At least the picture it has. But I don't really know how it's going to turn out or anything. So yeah, it could be all right. Maybe it won't be. Who knows? That's how predictions work. You don't know for sure. Then there's this show called Overlord, which seems like it's going to be sort of like a Sword Art Online kind of thing. It's done by Madhouse, so at least the animation will be good. Yeah, it's like, so a popular game gets shut down. Our protagonist, for some reason, decides he's not going to log out. Because I guess he's a hipster and he doesn't follow the rules because he's a badass or something. NPCs start to feel emotions. So yeah, he's going to try and take over this new world. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it could be kind of generic and Sword Art Online-y. I mean, just because it's like it's not exactly like Sword Art Online, but even then, just because it's like Sword Art Online doesn't mean it's going to be like Sword Art Online. I mean, Log Horizon is supposed to be really good. I love Excel World. And that was written by the same dude who did Sword Art Online. So, just because it uses a similar kind of setup and setting doesn't mean it's going to be like it. The main character doesn't really sound all that great, but it depends on how he's handled, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the image looks pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be another scenario. It's going to be like the God Eater, sort of, where, like, at the very least, the animation is probably going to be really good. So, there's that if there's nothing else. Yeah. What else? I think that's most of the series I wanted to talk about. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff listed here, but I think that those are the bigger ones and the ones that I'm somewhat interested in. At least for series. I guess we'll look into movies next. So let's do that. Movies! What do we have here? A Little Witch Academia movie. I still haven't seen the other thing for this, though it was supposed to be pretty good. So that'll be interesting. I should probably get around to watching that. So yeah, there's that for people. The fourth, Code Geass, Akito, The Exiled. Still haven't seen the first three, so I don't even know how well those are received. I feel like they started those a while ago. I mean, man, how long has it been taken to... And there's going to be a fifth one, too? This is not even done at 4. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's there. For the people who want to talk about that sort of stuff. Are those really movies, or are they more like long OVAs? I don't know. So the big movie is The Boy and the Beast, the Mamoru Hosoda movie. He's worked on a lot of movies, but the big ones, obviously, that he's done are The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, and Wolf Children. But he's done stuff like He worked on one of the Digimon movies. He worked on a One Piece movie, stuff like that. But those are like his big movies. And I loved The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. It's one of my favorite anime movies. Summer Wars was all right. I didn't really care all that much for Wolf Children personally, and I know that that's like sacrilege because like everybody loved Wolf Children, but I was only kind of all right with it. It's definitely not a bad movie, mind you. Definitely not a bad movie, but it's definitely my least favorite of the three. So this is set in the human realm, and you also have a Bakemono realm, or a monster realm, whatever. They must not. Hold on. In these two worlds, which must not intersect, there lives a lonely boy and a lonely Bakemono, or beast monster. I guess they're going to use beast as the word for it, because that's the name of the show or the movie. One day the boy gets lost in the beast world, becomes a disciple of the beast Kumatetsu, and the boy is renamed Kyuta. Just renames him. I guess Kyuta probably has some sort of meaning. It's like, nope, I don't care what your name is, Joe. You're now Kyuta. It's a better name than Joe, so there you go. I'm just kidding, Joe's not a bad name. Yeah, this is licensed by Funimation, like Summer Wars and Wolf Children were, which isn't surprising. And they'll give it a good dub like they always do. Probably won't come out around here for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'll definitely watch this when it gets dubbed. Because, at the very least, it's going to be, an above-average film. If not a good or great film. Yeah, because of Mamoru Hosoda. And this is definitely going to be the big film of the next season because he's attached to it. Yeah, looking forward to it. Like I said, at least it'll certainly be above average. It'll probably be pretty great because he tends to do pretty well. Even if I didn't like Wolf Children as much as everyone else did. Is there anything else really going on? The new Naruto movie, Boruto. See, that sounds like such a made-up name, Boruto. That sounds like the name you make up to make fun of Naruto. It's like, what, you watch Naruto? Naruto's so boring. You just become Boruto because it's so boring. See, that's what I first thought of when I saw that name. And the fact that that's actually what it's called is... It's ridiculous. I mean, not that I watch Naruto, so I don't really care. But yeah, there's that. I like that there's a movie coming out after wasn't the other movie called The Last Movie, and now there's this, so I don't know. What else? There's the new movies for some stuff. There's some Haikyuu recap movies. I haven't seen Haikyuu. I probably won't because it's a sports thing. But those are there for people who liked it. There's a Day to Live movie. I haven't seen that. A few Pokemon movies. There's this. I forgot I wanted to talk about this. The Anthem of the Heart, Beautiful World, or Beautiful Word. The Anthem of the Heart, Beautiful Word, Beautiful World. There it is. So this is being talked about mostly because it looks a lot like Anohana. Was it done by the same guys who did Anohana? Yes, it was. A1 Pictures, who did Anohana. Yeah, so a lot of people are expecting this to be like Anohana, and it might be. Licensed by Aniplex, so probably be a while before it gets a dub, but definitely like another. This and The Boy and the Beast are going to be the big movies to talk about. So June is a girl whose words have been sealed away. Okay. She was once a very happy girl, but because of a certain thing she said when she was very young, her family was torn apart. Okay, that sounds a little bit unrealistic, but okay. One day, the egg fairy appeared in front of her and sealed away her ability to talk in order to stop her from hurting anybody else. Really? Because that's just going to cause misunderstandings, and that's going to probably hurt more people, but okay. I think the egg fairy is a bitch. We're doing that crap. Okay. Since this traumatic experience, yeah, it'd definitely be traumatic. She lives in the shadows away from the limelight, but one day she is nominated to become an executive member of the Community Outreach Council. On top of that, she is also appointed to play the main lead in, I guess, the school's musical. So I guess it's gonna be... I feel like this would be better if it didn't have that supernatural thing with an egg fairy. Like, if it was a girl who, did tear apart her family because she said the wrong thing, and she chose on her own to not talk because of that, and then if it was about her learning to overcome that and learn that, it wasn't your fault. If you said one thing and that tore your family apart, your family's going to get torn apart anyway. So you need to accept it, move on, and not blame yourself and hold it over your head. I think that would be a better way to do it. I don't know if having a freaking egg fairy is really a good idea, but we'll see what happens. Why an egg fairy of all things? What do eggs have to do with not talking, aside from, eggs not talking because they're eggs? Yeah, I don't know. I like the title. The Anthem of the Heart. Beautiful word, beautiful world. I like that. I like that title. Yeah, we'll see. Should be fairly good. I'm just... That egg fairy thing is kind of concerning me. We'll see how they handle it. La la la, why aren't you working, my anime list? I don't know how many times I've said in this that my anime list isn't working, but guess what? It doesn't like to work. It doesn't like to go back when I click the back button because it's the little bitch. For OVAs, there's some Prisma Illya OVAs, there's a Yona of the Dawn OVA, still haven't seen that show. Heard it was pretty good. Some Tokyo Ghoul OVAs. Some Kami-sama Kiss OVAs, another show I gotta get around to. That I do plan to watch fairly soonish. Some other stuff. Nothing all that talkable about. There's some Aria specials. A 3-episode special. I haven't seen Aria. I've heard mixed things. I've heard it's really, really dreadfully slow. So I don't know if I'll ever check it out. But for those who like it, there's that. 3 episodes. They're listed as specials, so I'm kind of wondering if these are just going to be like 5-minute specials or something, or if they're actually going to be full length. Whatever. But yeah. The Sound of Tiger and Bunny. What is this? What the hell? So I guess there's going to be a short for Tiger and Bunny where they perform music or something. I don't know why. Okay. Tiger and Bunny's a good show. Go watch Tiger and Bunny. I don't know about the Sound of Tiger and Bunny, though. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. I mean, there's obviously things I did not mention, but they didn't necessarily catch my eye. I bet you there's probably a big thing that I ended up missing. But yeah, I think I talked about pretty much everything. So yeah, definitely going to watch Non Biyori Repeat. Probably going to watch Dora Raw's next core, assuming it gets a broadcast dub from Aniplex, which it probably will. Certainly going to look into Gangsta, with a period. As well as, definitely Charlotte. Charlotte, that I'm definitely going to watch. Whenever it gets dubbed, that 100% I'm going to watch, because it's key. So... even if it ends up not being, the most amazing thing ever, I'm still going to watch it. Yeah, I mean, there's other things. But, yeah, I talked about the stuff I'm more so interested in. So, yeah. I don't really think I have anything else to say. I know this is pretty rambly, but, yeah. Those are my thoughts on the upcoming season. It looks to be, I mean, at the least, it'll have some big-name stuff, like Charlotte. I'm really looking forward to Charlotte. And Non Biyori, definitely. More Durarara. And a lot of stuff that could be good if it's handled right. like Prison School, Gangsta, School Lives, stuff like that, could all be, very respectable, if not great shows, depending on how they're handled. And then, of course, Dragon Ball Super, the other juggernaut here. I certainly think that, Charlotte, Prison School, Gangsta, those will be like the big name things with stuff like, and Dora Raw, and to a lesser degree, Non Biyori. I just don't know how popular Non Biyori is. But those will probably be the bigger stuff with stuff like God Eater and Overlord and other, the Snow White thing sort of being maybe like sleeper hits, or maybe they won't be as talked about at first, and then depending on how they're handled, they may become more probably like Dark Horse would be a better way to describe them. Yeah. Alright, now I'm pretty much just rambling, so I'm going to end it here. Thanks for listening to me talk about stuff. Let me know which of these shows you want to check out, or what you think of them, and if I was completely wrong when I said, hey, the source material is supposedly good, or maybe I didn't, maybe a show that I didn't particularly sound like I was looking forward to too much. Maybe you disagree and would like to correct me, which is fine. I don't mind that. But yeah, let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments. And yeah, should be a good season. Definitely should be a good season. Yeah, so thanks for listening and take care, guys. I'll see you later.